So this is another video from that same colorism content creator that I did a video on recently. She talked about how she would never want to come back as a Black person. Let's go ahead and hear what she has to say. And by the way, she is a Black empowerment content creator. She said that she created her channel so that she could kind of spread the word about colorism and like help other unambiguous Black women. So the title of this video is called I Hate Myself.
Yo, 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 what it do, Peachsters? I'm gonna start calling y'all Peachsters. Y'all my fans. I'm like a celebrity, I guess. Or not. I don't know. I'm really not a celebrity though. No one knows me. I'm not known, so I'm not a celebrity, but I mean, especially the fact that you guys have never seen what I looked like, so how can you be a fan of me when you don't even know what I look like? I mean, and you'll never know what I look like because I'll never show you guys. Because I'm not gonna give you guys material to laugh at. I wanted to come and make this video tonight. Well, this morning. It's still dark outside, but it's the morning time. I called off work last night because I didn't want to go in. I didn't feel like facing everyone. And I like ordered in like a sub sandwich or some chips and watched some TV. But while I was laying there watching TV, I was reflecting on my life and reflecting on just not being wanted for 24 years.
Okay, so here you can see that she said that she's reflecting on not being wanted. So this tells you the root of her inferiority complex. It's once again, she has that external locus of control that I always talk about. It's where you're looking for love outside of yourself all the time. And I think that two things can be true at the same time. Of course, you should have love that comes from within yourself, and you should also be around healthy people, but it sounds like she doesn't know how to go where she's celebrated because she's saying that she's literally ruminating on how much everyone hates her, basically.
How the fuck are you hated for 24 years? Your entire life has been nothing but hell. How is that even possible? How have you been rejected by your mother, rejected by your father? You know, because I call it rejection. He was on drugs really, really bad. So, and he passed away, my biological father. So that's rejecting me, in my opinion, because he was not in my life. So I was sitting there just thinking, like, damn, like this life of hell, he, like Savvy Guy says, he calls it Life of Hell Incorporated. But at least he had positive role models. I didn't.
Okay, so now she's admitting that she had no positive role models. So, is this Exotical's fault? Is this white people's fault? Whose fault is it that a grown woman has no positive role models? Because if you're 18 years old and below, yes, I can blame your parents. You can put all the blame on your parents. But if you are 18 years old and above, it is now your responsibility to find positivity in your own life and to find positive role models for yourself. So this girl admits that she's in her 20s. She's somewhere in her mid 20s, I think. So she's admitting that she still had no positive role models. So this means that she lacks initiative. Remember what I said in previous videos about how a lot of women with inferiority complexes, they have a lack of resilience. And so they might think that they're strong or independent or whatever. And it's like, yeah, maybe you survived the bad background you came from, like you're still here. But in terms of actual resilience and being proactive, and finding positive content to watch or positive people to be around, this girl is admitting that she has never done that, even as an adult. And so there's no one to blame at that point but herself.
I was kind of putting into logic how I really view myself as a person. And the conclusion that I've came to is that more than likely by the time I'm 30, I won't be alive. And the reason why I say
Okay, so now she's saying that by the time she's 30, she's in her mid 20s. She's basically giving herself a death wish or saying she's basically not even going to be alive. So she is admitting she's basically having suicidal ideations on YouTube. And this is a colorism content creator. She's creating content so that she can help other women like herself by creating videos titled She Hates Herself. And she's literally giving ideations of unaliving herself or not being alive in the next 5 years. And she admitted that she has no positive role models while simultaneously wanting to be a positive role model for other Black women. So, do you see what I'm talking about? Do you see how the cycle continues? You can say whatever shit you want about my channel, but what you can't say is that I've never had any positive role models or that my channel doesn't do anything positive. This woman is actually admitting out of her mouth that she has no positivity in her life. And so, what do you think she's going to project out onto YouTube or onto her subscribers, who are mostly going to be unambiguous Black women?
This is because I am at the lowest point mentally of my entire life. I ain't never felt this low in my entire existence. I've never felt this low mentally. This is like ground level. This is like deep down in the sea low. Um, I fucking hate my Black skin. I fucking hate being a female.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. And I'm only sharing this because I really do think that for a lot of women who don't say it out loud, I think there are a lot of women who are thinking this inside of themselves, but they just don't admit it. So she's admitting that she hates her Black skin and hates being a woman.
I fucking hate how I look. I fucking hate where I live. Um, I mean, just normal stuff like hygiene is becoming difficult for me. Keeping my house clean is becoming difficult. Going places is becoming difficult. My anxiety is on 100. Just being a human is becoming very, very difficult for me now. And it's not to say that I'm gonna go anywhere just looking a fucking hot wreck. No, I'm gonna wash my ass. I don't play that shit. You know what I'm saying? My mama didn't play that shit, and I don't play that shit. I'm gonna wash my ass. But it's just the fact that like it's becoming increasingly difficult for me to take care of bare necessities.
So, just a word to the wise. I know that for me personally, I don't even watch or listen to or subscribe to or follow anybody that I wouldn't trade lives with. So, if it's an advice channel, this is why I even say on my channel, this is not an advice channel. My channel is not an advice channel. I'm not your leader. I'm not your spiritual guide. Do not look up to me. I am not your role model. Do not put me on a pedestal. This is exactly why. It's because I would never even want to listen to someone that I am not going to trade lives with. And especially when it comes to anonymous content creators, that's another reason that I say I'm not an advice channel because I understand that I'm anonymous and technically you cannot vet me. And so, because of that, I understand if you don't want to take my channel seriously. And so, you got this woman here who is admitting that she hates every aspect of her life, yet this is supposed to be empowering.
Not bare necessities, but the bare minimum. I still currently I keep up with my bills. I make sure that I have food in my fridge. I make sure pretty much that my life is pretty much squared together. But um, I feel that each month I'm becoming more and more or less tolerant of my existence. Um, and I don't want to say too much because I feel like if I say too much, YouTube is going to take this video down, and I really don't want them to. That or somebody might try to track my address down and try to like put me in some kind of mental facility or get the cops called if I'm talking crazy. But I really don't see a good future coming for me by the time I'm 30. I don't see it. I don't. I see either I'm gonna be on drugs and be homeless, that, or I'm gonna be dead by my own doing. And y'all know what that means. Like either that or I'm gonna be dead because I did something to myself. Or I mean, I don't see nothing good coming out of the next, what is it, 6 years?
Okay, so she said nothing good's going to come out of the 6 years, and she's going to be 30. So she's 24 years old based on what she just said. But notice how she circled it back in the beginning. She started off by blaming her parents. She said she was rejected by her mother and father. And then she started off this video talking about not being wanted. So basically, I'm assuming she's implying not being wanted romantically or maybe not being wanted in terms of like popularity or friendship. So this woman is literally to the point of wanting to potentially unalive herself because her parents and friends and men did not want her. And this is just according to herself. And so I find it very interesting how instead of her just saying like, hey, my parents are mentally ill, or all those people are mentally ill, or maybe they were colorist or whatever, instead of like moving on and overcoming, she is actually wallowing and ruminating on her past. And this is what I talk about when I speak on the slave mentality. There are a lot of people who they center their identities around their past, or they center their identity around a past that is not their own. So your parents being on drugs or whatever. Like if you've never been on drugs, that's actually not even your story. So you don't even have to take on that trauma as a part of your identity. But women with deep-seated inferiority complexes, they really do make trauma the center of their identity. And I'm not trying to make this as like me dissing her or anything like that. I'm just trying to educate you guys as a cautionary tale of what not to do, because she's literally taking on the traumas of her parents and she's taking on the rejection from her past and she's making it the core of her identity, so much so to the point where now she can't even move past it. She can't see the good in her life, and now she is allowing it to get to her to the point of almost unaliving herself.
In 6 years, I'll be 30. I'll be 25 in December. Um, Personally, y'all, it's just like I just don't want to be alive. I'm to this point where I just don't want to fucking be alive. Like I'm literally so annoyed that I have to be a black woman. Like it
I find it interesting how she says she doesn't want to be alive, and then she immediately mentions blackness right after. She didn't mention money, she didn't mention fame or popularity or capitalism or the country she lives in or anything like that. She immediately tied her suicidal ideations to blackness. So that says a lot right there. And this actually ties into her last video where she said, if I were to reincarnate, I wouldn't want to be black at all. Okay, so it tells me that the root of this self hatred thing and the root of these suicidal ideations is literally just her blackness.
it's like just it eats me up every fucking day. I look on the internet a lot and I'm seeing these young people coming up and they're white, you know, and even seeing Mexicans too. Like just seeing them, they're young and stuff and they're in their teens and I just look at how they're enjoying life and they're getting older and you know what I'm saying? They don't they, you know, and you know what I'm saying? I just look at their lives, you know, and they're all just normal. And that's the normalcy that I didn't have as a child. That's the normalcy that I don't have now. And I'm just jealous that this new generation is coming up, full of white people and Mexican people. I feel bad for the black teens. I ain't gonna lie, I feel bad for them because they're gonna suffer the same fate as me. But
And notice how, again, she said that anybody who's a black teenager will suffer the same fate as her. That's actually false. There are plenty of black people who are successful. There are plenty of black teenagers who are going to be something in life. So, do you see how she's now projecting her own inferiority complex onto the black community as a whole? And she's literally putting it out on YouTube as a colorism content creator, as a black empowerment content creator.
when I just look at white teenagers and Mexican teenagers on the internet and just their profiles and stuff, sometimes I just look at their profiles and I see just normal lives that they're living. Like I'm really jealous. Like I'm
And this is another reason I talk about alchemy, because jealousy is actually a form of clarity. Jealousy gives you clarity. Jealousy tells you what your desires are. So if you find yourself being jealous of someone, all that means is I want what they have. I want that beauty. I want that skin tone. I want that body. I want that hair texture or whatever it is. So you have two options when it comes to jealousy. Either option number one, you change yourself to attain whatever you're jealous of, or option number two, you continue to remain in whatever suffering you're going to be in for the rest of your life. And I never will recommend remaining in your suffering, because a lot of people will say, oh, you can just change your mindset, just change the way you think of that particular thing. But I kind of feel like the way that you solve a strong emotion like jealousy, usually it's not by just trying to be positive. I don't really like toxic positivity either. And I feel like that doesn't work for everyone. I think that having a positive mindset, it only works for some people. And so with this woman, it sounds like her having a positive mindset didn't work. So it sounds like she needed to make some changes in her life so that she could stop being jealous of the white people and the Mexican people. But it sounds like she decided not to make any changes in her own life. So she's just wallowing in this jealousy and inferiority to the point where now she's admitting that she literally hates herself.
I'm really jealous that that'll be something that I never can experience. Like I missed out on so many key instrumental things in my childhood. Like I didn't get to do sleepovers. I didn't get to like I didn't go to prom. Um
Okay, so do you see how she's saying she missed out? And once again, she's mentioning all these external things. I didn't get sleepovers with my friends, basically. I wasn't popular. I didn't get to go to prom. So this is all popularity based. So her entire suicidal ideations were all based on external factors. First, she mentioned her parents, her mom and dad. She said she felt rejected by those two. Then she said that she felt rejected by everyone. And then now she's talking about proms and, comparing herself to white people and Mexican people via social media. She said that she's comparing herself to teenagers, people younger than her. Imagine a grown woman who's jealous of teenagers. She admitted this. So this proves my point that it is possible for women to have inferiority complexes and to be jealous of their own children or be jealous of women younger than them, or for basic Betties at the workplace. I'm sorry, but with all due respect, I do think that this woman is probably a basic Betty at work, or she might have those types of behaviors because she's admitting that she hates her own life. And so imagine working with this type of lady with this kind of mindset. Imagine working alongside this lady and she's like 10 years older than you and you're young and full of hope and this is your coworker. Do you think she's going to be nice to you? Do you think she's going to want you to succeed? Do you think she's going to be emotionally available to properly train you and set you up for success in your career? Of course not.
you know what I'm saying? I missed out on having a boyfriend young, like having a teen love, teen love. Yeah, that's one of the things that really makes me mad. That's one of the things I really like. I feel like a piece of shit. Like I feel like I ain't shit.
So she just admitted she also feels like she ain't shit, quote, because she missed out on love as a teenager. So because a 15-year-old little boy in high school didn't like you, you ain't shit. That's literally what she just said. So once again, that's another aspect of the external locus of control. So do you see how her entire concept of self-love is actually it's not self-love at all. Basically she's saying I don't love myself unless other people love me. So my mom and dad didn't love me, a boy at school didn't love me, nobody asked me to prom, friends didn't love me. So therefore, I don't love myself.
If I ain't experienced that, because everyone I know has, and it just really fucks with my head, and it accounts for a lot of the reasons why as fucking have socially stunted growth as it is in relationships. I mean, the past men I've been with, they're like they don't even understand it. They're like, damn, like you mature as far as getting responsibilities done, but when it comes down to communication and relationships, it's like I'm talking to a child. Yeah, duh. If you miss out on key things in your life like that, you're not gonna be working with the same mental intelligence.
So she's also admitting that she's socially stunted or she's like developmentally delayed in terms of social skills. She's basically saying she was a femcel. And I'm not even trying to like make fun of it, but I'm saying she is admitting that she was involuntarily celibate because she said that it made her feel like she ate shit. For a lot of us, it's the exact opposite, where we get male attention we do not want. And so we actually have to decenter men altogether because we're actually tired of all the extra attention. But she's saying she has the exact opposite experience, and it's causing her to think that she, quote, ain't shit. So basically, if you didn't have a boyfriend in high school, you ain't shit, according to this content creator.
As someone who's experienced all that, so
And also, notice how she said that she is socially stunted because she didn't have a high school boyfriend. So, once again, it's that external locus of control. I find it insane that you expect a 15-year-old boy to teach you social skills. Why are you expecting men to teach you relationship skills? And I'm not trying to like kick this woman while she's down, but I'm just saying it as a cautionary tale. This is what happens when you externalize your self concept, because nobody else will be able to love you as good as you can love yourself. Nobody else knows you as good as you know yourself, right? Because you're the only one who's living in your thoughts. You're the only one feeling your emotions. You're the only one waking up as you every day. And so it's your responsibility to soothe yourself. It's your responsibility to have self esteem. Hence why it's called self esteem. It's called self love. So if you have self hate, whose fault is it? Yourself. It's not a high school boyfriend's responsibility to teach you relationship skills. In fact, that's extremely male centered. If I'm depending on a man to teach me how to behave in a relationship, that's actually very male centered and extremely codependent. So this woman is actually exposing the fact that she's very codependent because she's saying, "Oh, well, basically, because none of these other people loved me in high school and this boy didn't date me and my parents didn't love me, now I don't know how to love myself and it's all their fault. It's all society's fault. Like it's everybody else's fault except for hers." So once again, do you see how there's no accountability there either? She's so codependent emotionally. She sounds emotionally codependent on other people's validation. And so this is why she said, because I didn't have a boyfriend, I'm not shit.
I just, I like this is the lowest that I've ever felt in my life. Like I literally see no use for my existence. But before I die, like what I would do is I would spend all my savings. Like I'll go on a fucking binge, shopping binge. Uh that's like just before I just lose my man completely and take a rocket ship about this bitch. Cause it's fucking miserable being a black woman. Shit, I
And notice how once again she says it's miserable being a black woman. No, sis, it's miserable being you. And I'm not trying to say it to like be mean or kick you while you're down. I don't think she would be listening to this, but it's like she's equating her self-hatred to blackness as a whole. And it's like, no, there are black women who actually love themselves. There are black women who are confident, who are living their best lives. So the fact that she's a content creator gearing her content towards black women and then equating her mental health issues to everyone else and to other black women as a whole is insane to me. Oh, okay, I hate myself, so it must be because I'm black.
I whew, if I live past 30, that's gonna be a fucking miracle at this rate. That's gonna be a miracle. But I know for a fact before I lose my mind, because I'm not leaving my savings in that bank account so that it, you know what I'm saying, my family can try to claim it when I'm gone. Nah, bitch, you ain't spending my fucking money, bitch. Fuck that shit. Before I leave up out of here, I'm spending all my money. All the savings. I'm spending all the savings. Um, just going to random places and shit, traveling, buying a lot of luxurious clothes and food and all that. I'm gonna enjoy myself before I get up out this motherfucker. And then like you know what I'm saying, I'll probably go next to a river and just like sit down and just reflect. You know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna say too many details because, like I said, I don't know how the internet is real crafty, and somebody could like get super concerned and send the cops to my house or something. And I ain't got time for that drama at 5 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, like I really, really hate myself. I hate myself to a high degree. Like I fucking hate I just hate myself. I don't even feel like a human. It's like I feel like an alien or something. Like I'm just traveling through life as a fucking alien. And it's so cryptic. And it's crazy because I was just on the roommate site because y'all know I'm moving. And I contacted this woman because she said she got a room that I can come to if I wanted to do roommating. Because I figure if I do roommating, I can save money. You know what I'm saying? So I messaged her, and she's a white girl. You know, I don't really trust. I'm not gonna lie. I don't trust roommating with black people because I feel like they'll be able to spot right away that something mentally is off with me, and they would take advantage of me. That's
Okay, so once again, now she's projecting her mental illness onto the black community as a whole. So if I were to ever say, I don't want to live with black people because then they're going to try to take advantage of me. you would call that racist, colorist, texturist, featurist, and anti Black. So, this is why I say that my theory is that a lot of the anti Blackness is actually internalized within unambiguous Black people themselves. And they're just projecting it out everywhere else and then blaming you for their own internalized inferiority complexes.
That's what I feel. Knowing that I'm not mentally all there. You know what I'm saying? I worry about being sexually assaulted by black men, or, you know what I'm saying, or a black woman beat me up because they know that I can't, you know what I'm saying, I can't defend myself, you know. So I would never roommate with black people. But and I'll keep y'all updated on how all this goes, by the way. But yeah, I contacted her. We're gonna call her Sheila. I contacted Sheila, and she's apparently saying that, yeah, definitely, you know, you can come move in with me. You know, the rent she's trying to say is gonna be 500. That ain't nothing for me. I'll be able to pay that every month and more. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? I would show my appreciation most definitely. But I asked her, would it be close to the job that I'm trying to transfer to? She's like, yeah, just 10 minutes away, you know? And she was like so eager. She's so eager to get me in there, y'all. And I told her, I was like, well, I can't move in until October because that's when my lease ends, and I don't want to have to pay two rents. And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's understandable. As long as you put down a down payment. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Fucking hell. Yes. Um, but she's like super eager, and I'm shocked because if I was her and I was a white woman, I would not be that eager for no black person to come in my house. Now, granted, y'all, I'm really, really good with writing bios. Like, my bio is top tier superb. I'm very good with the words. I know you bitch ass motherfuckers will fucking claim that I'm illiterate, but I'm gonna tell you something, bitch. I can code switch in a fucking second. I can go from cussing your bitch ass out and putting you in your fucking place right to talking like a fucking intellectual.
So now she's bragging about how much she can cuss people out, but then be intellectual at the same time. But notice how, if you are perceived as someone with any form of privilege and you do the same thing, you're trying to escape your blackness, you're trying to cosplay as something you're not, you hate yourself. But then we have a woman right here who literally titles her video, I Hate Myself. Where's the outrage for this? This is why I say that most of it is selective outrage. They're only outraged if you are the quote unquote privileged person. There is no outraged if you are perceived to be at the bottom. And obviously, I don't believe in that concept, but a lot of other people who are African American do believe in that concept.
And I can fucking prove the shit, bitch. Straight up. I can code switch very fast. And so she really was impressed with my bio. And but still, if I was her, I wouldn't even trust no black person. And the thing is, she don't even know that, like, I'm mentally ill and stuff. She don't know that. She's just going by the bio and my nice profile picture, you know. But of course, you know, I'm in control of my mental illness. I'm not a harm to anyone, but I'm a harm to myself. And I guess that's the main person who I should worry about. But, you know, oh, y'all, it's just the fact that just everything. Like, I don't even know if I even want to move with her. I don't even think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea to just get my own place because I need privacy. I be going through moments and shit. But the good thing is that it has a private bathroom, you know, and I'm really serious about that. I'm not sharing no bathroom. Bathrooms are private to me. So it has a private bathroom and a private room, and it's pretty big. So, but yeah, I'm just gonna see how that goes. But yeah, y'all, I hate myself. I really do. I hate being a black woman. I feel so bad for black babies being born. Like, they just in for a world of hell. It's just sick. It's so sick. And I hate myself, and I don't know what to do about it. So yeah, I don't like myself. Shit, that's all for now. Bye bye.
So, what was empowering about that? Because I've noticed this pattern with a lot of content creators who claim to be empowering unambiguous Black women. When you actually watch their content, usually it's just them scolding other Black women and kind of like talking down on other Black women and how much of failures they are. It's them talking down on their fellow counterparts, Black men. Even on this channel, I actually don't really talk down on MLS men in particular, because I just feel like this is a decentering men channel in general. So I don't have to spend my entire channel just particularly talking about men, but I've noticed this pattern where these women who claim to be empowering others, it's either them talking down on their own men, talking down on their own mothers and fathers, talking down on whoever they view as competition. None of the content is actually like giving solutions to any problems. There's not even like a funny story time or anything. So I'm just wondering what's empowering about this. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.